Welcome in, Renegades. So this is our long-awaited video that we have been waiting since last week to make, and we no longer have technical difficulties. So we're gonna invite Technologic Rob onto the stage in just a minute. But before we do that, I just want to show you guys what we are doing with ICP Renegades. We have a pretty skilled developer who has worked with projects like Entrepot, and I believe there's another one, I think it was Mod Club or Catalyze, one of those that he worked with, and he's building our demo right now. We already secured the funding, and so we're going to do a little celebration of that before we get our video started today. And what we're going to do, let me just share my screen with you real quick, is we are going to give away 500K Renegade tokens to each purchase of these rare NFTs. So what I am doing is every single day for 7 days, we are going to list one ICP Renegades NFT, which is going to be a gaming skin. After the demo's built, we're going to build the game. And then if you purchase one of these, because they're not going to release these rare ones again when we do our music collection on Yuku, because they're going to have music, they'll be rare themselves. So we're going to have a lot of cool stuff. We listed number 281, but the cool thing is we only listed this for 5 ICP, and we are going to give away number 269, which is one of the rarest NFTs in the entire collection, so that you guys, one of you that purchases this, any of these NFTs, one of the wallets is going to receive this one, which is the Renegade bike. Everything is super rare except the sandals, which is fine, but this is like a 99% rare NFT, and it's the original gaming bike, and these are the rarest bikes out there. There's only a few of them in the entire collection, and we're going to be giving this away plus the 500K to everyone who buys one of the rares. Right now there is 2 available. You can get them on Toniq. This is the second one that we did today. So if you get this one, you have a chance to win the ultra rare one, and you get 500K tokens. Plus there's 1 million tokens for this one. So if you get this one, you get the 500K plus 1 million for getting this one. It's for 6 ICP, and it is over on Toniq right now. So we're going to do this every day. We're going to list them up there, and then we're going to add liquidity. We're using this as a liquidity bootstrapping event for ICP Renegades. We're also always going to take 5% of the proceeds for Seattle Children's Hospital, and we turn that to Solana and then donate it once it reaches like $170. But yeah, we will be giving away Renegade tokens, and we'll be giving away some NFTs as well. So we only have about 17 left to give away now. So it's getting down to where we've given away so much. We did an airdrop where we airdropped 94 million Renegade tokens. So we're doing it big. All right, let's get into this. Let's remove this. And welcome in my friend, my new friend, and collaborating partner, Rob, aka Technologic. He is a longtime ICP OG, and I can't believe, bro, I just met you. You've been in the space for a long time. You've helped pioneer what it is to be an artist on Trax, in my opinion. I saw you on there from the very first day I joined. So I just want to kind of have you introduce yourself, give a little bit of background about your experience with ICP, kind of why you joined it, and a little bit about your background as an artist and producer.
Hey, Jeff, thanks for having me on, man. This is really cool. This is my first YouTube stream like this. It's pretty sick. Give me just a second. I'm getting a little bit of audio feedback. I don't want to have anything. Okay, cool. So a few years ago, I came across ICP, like, a lot of us did, and we kind of rode a roller coaster, probably one of the longest rides down a lot of us have experienced ever in the crypto realm. But a handful of us stuck around, and we started to build and keep building from the base up. And to see what has come into fruition over the last few years is amazing. We've seen a lot of projects come along. Some of it have succeeded. Some of them we're still waiting to succeed. And my favorite one by far, obviously, has been Trax. It offers me an outlet as an artist, not only a musician, but a digital artist, to share my work with the world. And it's direct from artist myself to fan, people that are able to enjoy the things that I create. Um, I was able to onboard my mom and my brother onto Trax without them even realizing they were interacting with the Web3 dApp at
Oh,
all.
no way. That's
Yeah,
genius.
yeah, it's that easy to onboard. As an artist, you have to do basically a KYC, you have to verify your identity if you're going to be posting something, as an artist out there. But there are two different types of accounts right now. You can be a fan or an artist, and you can just browse and support and subscribe. And I want to see more cats like you and, maybe even Six Figs and some of the other guys out there get more video content onto there. I want people to see the versatility behind Trax, because not only is it the first fully decentralized music platform in existence, not only on the IC, that if
That's
you
mad.
own stake in it, it's yours and you have a say in how it operates and the direction it takes. And that's exactly what I've been waiting for. And here it is.
Man, so what's the difference between like an artist and a fan over there? I mean, it seems pretty simple, but for like the mechanics of, I mean, we all know what artists and fans are, but what is the difference in the mechanics of interacting with Trax? Can anybody become an artist? You have to pay.
No, you don't have to pay at all. You just have to pass the identification, and which anybody can do with a passport or a driver's license or whatnot. And you can create an account, but if you create one as an artist, that allows you to monetize the content that you create and get it direct to consumer with a minimal take from the platform itself. Trax only takes 10%, and that number is minimal if you think about how many streams it takes to play a song on a different platform to get paid a few dollars. You can guess who I'm talking about. But it eliminates the middleman and offers an outlet, and that's what I enjoy the most. I can be me on there. If somebody thinks it's cool that I created it, they can show me that they think it's cool in their own way.
Right. And so how do they do that on there? Like, do they just send you like, a money order to your crib, or how do they treat you over there?
Publisher clearinghouse shows up with that big check.
Oh yeah. That'd be
No,
great.
there are a few different ways to pay. Like myself, I accept crypto. I can accept payment in ICP and CK BTC, which is chain key Bitcoin. For anybody out there that doesn't know what it is, research it. It's revolutionary. And then
I mean, we
obviously,
talk about it on the channel a lot. It's a
oh yeah,
backbone because Bitcoin Renegade. You got to throw it down for the
mhm.
CKBTC here, man, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, straight up. Like, can get paid direct, like crypto, or somebody could connect their debit card to it, pay that way.
Oh, really?
And you can request the payouts via PayPal. It's very easy.
Dang. So that means a lot to me if we talk about that for a second, because a big barrier, like you were saying, you were able to get you said your brother and your mom to join
Mhm.
the platform, right? So that's the hard thing, is because like trying to tell somebody, yeah, you're going to be interacting with a blockchain Web3, they're like, well, I don't know what that is, so I don't want to deal
Mhm.
with it because I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I didn't even tell my mom.
Yeah, I don't
Like
have
all she wanted to know is like, hey, how can I hear my son's music? and see, it's
Yeah,
hard.
and a lot of people don't have time to do the research that it takes to figure out what a
Yeah.
blockchain is, and then what the internet computer is, and then how all of that. So what the point basically is that people are going to be able to be onboarded. So once you get them there, now what are you going to do? Shove them into a Web3 blockchain world and be like, now you need a wallet, now you need this, now you need all that. And they're like, well, this is the whole point of why I didn't want to do this in the first place, is because I don't know what a wallet is. I don't know how to interact with crypto. But what you're talking about, having that traditional payment system, because traditional IT, that's going to be a big topic in our video today, is how the future of Web3 is going to change forever, because it's going to integrate with Web2 in a way people don't even know that they're using the blockchain. So adding a payment system like a debit card or a credit card, or mailing a money order to your house, but all that kind of stuff is really going to bring in people that don't want to take the time to research, so they can interact quick. They can listen to their favorite artist music. They can interact with their favorite creator, tip them, do whatever. And it all acted like they were just doing anything else online. And so I think that's huge. What do you think Trax is pioneering the way by doing that? Do you think that they're leading this industry, or do you think that that they're going to just blast their way through it?
Oh man, simple answer is yes. I know you offered two options there, but yes.
Okay.
They really are kind of blasting the way, in a revolutionary way. Because I've been a musician most of my life, and if you've been a musician for a while, you've been screwed over by somebody at some point. It just happens. So now that the ability exists for us to control and maintain our own content, own it, like as easy as a click of a button.
Right. So that's a good
Yeah.
point that you made there, because you told me last night, you're like, hey man, you should post like one of your videos on Trax. And I was like, wait, it's a music platform though, right? And it'd be hella
Yeah, I mean,
complicated to
yeah.
upload like a whole video, I was thinking, right?
Yeah. Because I think you can, what was the max? Like it's a 5 GB max on the
Yeah, 5
video.
gigs. And none of my
Yeah.
videos have ever reached 5 gigs before
Yeah.
at all.
Just think about the possibilities, like beyond like what either you or I are doing now. Like there's the potential for like a maybe even like a reality TV show, like pops up on there, sometime in the near future. That could be a game changer. People could buy the episodes directly from the people that are directing it with a GoPro and some
That'd be
video
fire.
editing software from the laptop out in the mountains. Like there's
Sure.
a lot of people doing a lot of really cool things out there. I have a friend, you probably know him. He's known in our realm as AKA Dan's. He's a
Oh yeah.
snowboarder, DJ, and he GoPro
OG.
film, yeah, and he films snowboarding and he DJs out in the French Alps, like out in the mountains in the snow, and he gets this footage. I want to see him get stuff like that up there, and just
Yeah, I'm a huge skateboard and like snowboard fan, like from way back. So if I saw like some content, like some skating or some snowboarding with some sick tricks and like some DJing, yeah, that'd be fire. That'd be cool. I'm a fan of that already. So yeah. So what? Let me get into a couple questions that I have for you. Let me just So you kind of already talked about your experience with Trax. Let's move on to, so they had an SNS launch. Let's just kind of go over Trax's plan a little bit of what they're doing. So I remember when Trax token came out, I actually met Tom Stewart on Code and State's channel. That's how I learned about the project. Then they, had their token released, the platform, and then the SNS launch, right? Do I have that in the correct order? So the token, the platform, or was the platform, then the token, then the SNS launch?
well, the token didn't really exist until the SNS launch, I believe. correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, but I mainly focused on like the airdrop side of it by grinding on the platform and
I
using
think
the
the
platform.
token did exist.
But like regarding the but regarding the SNS, so I mean it was fairly easy to do. I don't think it was available for everybody globally. I know some people that may have used a VPN to be able to do it, but it's pretty easy to do on the network nervous system on ICP. You log in with your internet identity, and during the time of it, if you wanted to be a part of it, you could have committed. I committed, I think it was at the initial one was like 20 ICP or something like that. And later on, after it voted through, we got our drops, you know, in the neurons. Most of mine are staked, and I restaked more. But within this network nervous system, you can vote on the moves that the platform makes. And it's proposed, and at some point, anybody will be able to make a proposal and basically push the company, the decentralized company, in the direction that the artists want to take it. You know, like what's the best route for us. And to me, not only being able to do that, but to reap in some rewards by holding faith in the DAO, that it's more promising. And with it being, in my opinion, still kind of in its infancy, and to see how much work and grit they've put into it, not only on the web, but like IRL, you know, like there are a lot of projects out there that are getting a lot of things done, but I don't see very many street teams out there like Trax.
Yeah, so that leads us into our next question. What have you seen Trax doing since the SNS1 launch? Because there's not a lot of posts on there on Twitter, but I guess they're really active on Instagram for the Trax. So what have they been doing? And definitely go follow their Instagram right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. Follow them both on Instagram and on Twitter. So a lot of the things to get through on Twitter, but Twitter feeds aren't very reliable anymore, as we all know. But on Instagram, you'll see a lot of like pop-up concerts they'll have at venues, or even I think they've had a couple street shows, and they had a presence at South by Southwest in Austin, Texas this last week.
Nice.
They're doing a lot, and they're bringing some pretty well-known artists into the realm. And I feel that it's really just a matter of time before it becomes the standard. And with Trax kind of being the pioneer in the sense that I'm viewing it from, there will probably be other platforms that pop up to using that model. But as a whole, I think that's a great thing for the industry. So I'm looking forward to seeing some competition build off of something that they built from the ground up, and not necessarily to compete with them. I'll be loyal to them, but it's game changing, man. This is pretty exciting times.
Yeah, so I want to know more about these pop-up. What is it? Just a pop-up like quick concert, or like what are they doing?
They have this large inflatable neon green X, right? Which is, you know, part of the logo for Trax, and
the thumbnail to this video. So
yeah, and they were they were just teasing it for the longest time. I'm like, what the heck is that thing? And then it started showing up, and they were having these pop-up shows. That's pretty cool. But
that would be cool to be live streamed too. Like Trax should have their own account. Do they have like an artist account where they can post like these pop-ups, just like film it real quick and then
probably, yeah, I'm sure they could. You know, I'm sure they have the capability to put something on the main page, say, hey, there's something live here. Yeah, I don't want to speculate or put words in their mouth, but I'm pretty sure something along those lines are already being thought of. But if not,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Tom. Hook it up. I don't know the rest of the team. So do you know these guys? I've met Tom and talked with him. Have you, not like in person, but have you met the rest of the team?
I believe I've interacted with a couple of them. I think most of the time it is Tom. But they've always been pretty super responsive to me and respectful, and they've
Definitely.
yeah, the advice they've been.
Great team, those guys over there at Trax. So, and they're UK based. So, is there limitations? So let's talk about that. Since there was a limitation for the SNS sale, is there any limitations for US users that you know of for using the platform like Trax? Because if you can't really participate in the, the the capital, the basic, the marketplace of Trax. If you're in the US, that would be very, very, bad for business. So can anybody receive tips and rewards over there?
That'd be something to ask the legal team that they're working with. That is one of the proposals that got voted through in the SNS, were to release some of the funds to pay for all of the legal stuff. I voted yes for that because that's a big step with a company, especially with a company that could become the size that they have the potential to become.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering, if I'm an artist over there, if I can get, CKBTC. You're in the US, right? That's what I'm saying. You can get rewards and you're based out of the US.
I do get rewards.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So anybody anywhere, that was the point I was trying to make, that anybody anywhere can use this platform as an artist and get, the rewards from your fans or whatever. So okay, so let's talk a little bit about the staking. You were talking about voting on proposals and stuff. I'm a big staking guy, and you guys should go check out my staking video on ICP. I haven't delved too much into the SNS yet, but you can check that out on Trax too. I actually uploaded my staking video on Trax, so go check that out. Bitcoin Renegade, of course. And so I just want to kind of talk a little bit about the staking, because it isn't exactly the same as the NNS staking. Like if you're staking ICP, it's not going to be the same as staking Trax, in just the fact where you will have to add an actual neuron ID instead of with the regular NNS. You can just pick, hey, I want to follow Definity, I want to follow this one, want to follow that one, and so that neuron ID is in the Trax NNS or SNS file. So you can just copy that, and then you will paste that into the followee, or like Rob was telling me earlier, because it's easier to get all of your rewards if you're voting manually. So how do you vote manually? You just go to the voting tab and then choose Trax. And how often is there votes to be had for Trax? Because I want to know when I need to check there so I know when to vote.
So if anybody out there is anything like me with some of these projects we're involved in, or just tracking our I guess you could say our financials, right? I'm pretty compulsive about it, so I probably check a few times a day. But I know there are multiple notification systems built into some of the sites. Like I think ICP Coins and a couple others have some upcoming, or I guess existing SNS votes, something like that. I've seen them around, but I'm pretty active on the NNS, and I do a lot of my voting manually because I like to pay attention to what I'm agreeing to. That's kind of the reason why I'm in it to begin with. But that may just be me. But it's fairly easy to go in there, and if there's a proposal that's live, there is a time window on them usually. Pay attention to that, and it'll be basically a yay or a nay, and that's that.
Yeah, and so it's a lot like the regular ICP staking in the voting sector, not the followee. So if you don't have a followee, you can just go and vote yourself. And that's probably the best way to do it for any, thing else besides ICP, is to just go and kind of check daily and see if there's something, because these proposals last for like 24, 48 hours or something. How long?
I've seen them up for like 72. I don't know the specifics, but
Right.
they
So,
might
but
be
they're up
close
there.
to-
They're up there for a nice chunk of time. It's not going to be
Yeah,
like 2 hours and you missed it, stuff like
no,
that. So,
no, that wouldn't be very fair. I wouldn't be buying into
yeah, it's
that.
like, man, if you don't see it in 30 seconds, you don't get a vote. That's it.
Sorry.
So I mean, we kind of covered all the main points. I just want to really iterate that Trax has been a big supporter of ICP. They raised a lot of funds with this SNS, which contributes to building the internet computer. I think they've done a really big thing in the music industry. They've given a platform for artists to be able to express themselves, like you were saying, be able to interact with their fans, and they have the platform for the fans as well, because you can choose the artist or the fan side where they can interact, and they can reward, tip their favorite content creators. You can upload more than video. You can upload more than music over there. You can upload videos. You could upload birthday parties. You could make like a memoir over there of a lot of different memories, just for yourself. You could do a lot of different things over there.
So I sell some digital content on my page too. Like I make like live wallpapers and stuff with like an internet computer theme and stuff like that. So you could do a lot of cool things. You can actually sell physical merch on there as well. They're working on upgrading that system, but let's say you make a T-shirt, you could sell it on there. So there's a lot going on here.
I wonder how that would work. Would you have to send the T-shirt yourself, or it just goes, you connect the store
I
over
think
there?
so, because there's like when I go into it, I see kind of like an order book, and then you just have to fulfill the orders. But I'm sure they'll probably make it a little easier to use at some point. But creating the digital content, like the wallpapers that I created, like I put them up there for like $1. You buy it for $1. You download the MP4 file, and you've got a pretty cool looking live wallpaper. Yeah, so if anybody out there is into creating visual effects or anything like that, you could monetize it.
Right.
If you play the ukulele, you could monetize it. If you paint murals on a wall somewhere, you could monetize it. So there's just so many options, so many possibilities.
Yeah, and ICP is the absolute best blockchain for this to be on, because in the traditional music world, it's crazy how much they take from the artist, right? So the bigger the artist you are, the more you're going to end up paying. And like you said, Trax gets only 10%. That's like a manager fee, not a record label fee. A manager be taking 10% from you, and then the record label takes the other 70, and you're left with 20% at the end. So
they have an artist referral program too. If you refer an artist and they sign up using your referral link, you get 5% of their revenue as well. So I mean, there's revenue sharing, and there's a lot of ways for artists to collaborate too, and that's what I like seeing come out of stuff like this. I've been able to collaborate with a few pretty cool artists recently that I met really basically through Trax, and then it kind of spawned onto this like greater relationship. So there's a lot going on in Web3.
Well, what is going on with you though? I'll ask you that in a second. But Pumpkin Seed said, "I wish my wife looked at me 2 to 3 times a day, like Techno looked at the Trax and SNS 2 to 3 times a day." That's hilarious, man. So let's just say hi to everybody. I guess there's no shilling from the developer. That's our job. Like that's my job as a marketer. They kind of talk to us to do the marketing, but I get what you're saying. We need more marketing. That's period. But yeah, that's kind of our jobs. So I wanna move on to you now. Hey, King Love, what's up? Justin here. Amar. Yeah, it looks like El Chingon. Omar's not here. Okay, so I want to talk about you for a second. What do you have going on the ICP? So I know there's not a whole lot that you haven't done in the space. You're kind of doing everything from music to producing to graphics to you know, just being an OG DJ in the space. But let our audience know, like, kind of show whatever you want right now. What projects are you working on? What projects do you have? And how can people interact with you besides on Trax? They can interact with you on Trax too. Follow Technologic on Trax.
Yeah, for sure. Follow me there. Follow me on Twitter. I'm pretty active on Twitter. I have been for a few years. To be honest, like I hadn't really interacted with Twitter much until I discovered ICP. Interesting how that works. But I've been a musician most of my life. My grandmother taught me how to play the organ when I was 6 years old, and then from there, just over the years up till now, I picked up a slew of different instruments, and then picked up production and stuff along the lines too. And I was in quite a few bands, you know, like post high school and some in college and after and whatnot, and had some opportunities, had some good things happen, had some other people take advantage of, you know, friends of mine and we just kind of got discouraged from it.
Right.
And, you know, fast forward, you know, probably a decade, you know, I've got a couple of children, you know, a career, but I still use music and art as an outlet. And I just started, you know, noticing like NFTs, what's that? I'm like, oh wait, I could do something like that. And I was talking to some friends and some Discord, and I was just kind of showing them some of the things I was creating, and they talked me into minting my first collection, psychedelics, a few years ago now. It was launched on Meme Cake, if that takes you back at all. Meme Cake is still around. I launched there. I was also the last project to mint on Meme Cake. That was my follow-up to psychedelics. It was meditations. I created 40 animated audio visual tracks using binaural frequencies and different colors to kind of help people calm, you know, because that's kind of what I make my music and my art for. Like I make it for myself just so I can chill out. And I was like, okay, maybe I could share this. Maybe I can bring some light to somebody else. And the collections sold out, and I was just wild. Whoa! You know, oh my
How
gosh!
many were in each collection?
Moment. What's that?
How many? What was the size of the collection?
I specialize in one of one pieces, so each one was only 40.
Oh, 40.
So they're small collections. They're very exclusive. Pretty much every collection I release is exclusive. I created a little kind of like a Valentine's Day present for Candace a couple of years ago. I released a little LP of music NFTs on Entrepot called Blockchain Love, and that sold out. Yeah, and I started creating like kind of like a little like love story I have posted on Mora somewhere. I'll circle back to it one of these days.
And damn, you're doing big things, and that's just getting started, right?
Oh yeah, that's still, you know, over a year ago. And then I saw a lot of chatter coming in, some other really great artists that released on other chains like Solana were kind of migrating to the IC because some of the outreach that the digital art showcase has been doing. And they've been bringing a lot of eyes over to the IC NFT space, and they brought some other one of one artists over. And so it kind of inspired me to create another collection. So I created my Enchanted Bonsais, which was a collection of 10.
And we all know that Dominic Williams like pioneered the bonsai for ICP. Let's just throw that out there real quick.
Okay. Yeah, and so then I promised, I was like, hey, I'm gonna airdrop you guys a new one of one every month. And I'm a couple behind right now, but I tend to drop a couple at a time. and has to do with some of the evolution that my art has been going through. Honestly, just over the last few months, I've really dove into 3D rendering, and I found a new second love, and I just can't stop.
Yeah, 3D
Yeah.
is the future of NFTs. I believe that if an NFT isn't 3D, it isn't for me. So
Yeah, yeah,
I'm just
yep.
kidding. I love NFTs. I'm just saying that that's the future, and I really think that they're more aesthetically pleasing, and then having music with it. So, do any of your collections have have you produced any kind of tracks for yours? And then we have a question from the audience after that as well.
Sure. The meditations collection, that is audio and video. Each track is unique. It's like soothing, like relaxing sound, with some rain and some other stuff like that. And then there's a pretty cool, trippy visual. And then my blockchain love collection, that was an LP that I created for Candace, and I actually used the mint money from that to buy her a Valentine's Day gift, which was one of her first NFTs.
I love that, man. That's a good way to spend the proceeds from that 100%. So I really like that you've taken the NFT and music approach. Do you think that Trax could somehow integrate a way to mint NFTs with your music on their platform? I think that'd be a good idea. That way to forever immortalize.
That's the plan. That's something
What?
that they're building. Is definitely a plan, though. It's definitely
What?
in the works. Yeah.
Oh, let's go. So with
Yeah.
that in mind, with all these big plans that Trax has, question, where do you see Trax 4 to 5 years from now?
On the ICP blockchain. About all I could predict.
Yeah, there's no promises, but in my opinion, I see Trax maybe not in 4 or 5 years, but maybe in 8 to 10 years, competing with the traditional music industry, because artists have been seeking a way out of the record labels for the past 20 years. Starting, with Michael Jackson a long time ago, he had the worst contract. That fool made so much money for the record label and didn't get a whole lot of it himself. So I really think in the next 10 or so years, Trax is going to be an industry go-to, not only in the UK, but global. That's just my take on it, So,
yeah, I do have a lot of friends in the industry. Not everybody's going the Web3 route, but those that are going as far as even working on developing their own platforms, their own sites, just so that they own 100% of their content. So it's
but having a platform,
that
that's the thing, is having a big platform. So creating your own website, if you already don't have a gigantic fan base, like a lot of the artists that like record labels pluck out of obscurity and make really famous, that have a lot of talent, it's because they have the people behind them. They have the clientele to be able to do that. So what I'm talking about is Trax being able to have a platform where the clientele is there. So you post your stuff on there, it already has 1 million people that can look at your stuff right away. So I don't think a lot of those places are going to be able to compete with Trax. I don't think it's going to be easy. That's why it hasn't been done already in the traditional IT infrastructure, in my opinion, is because they don't have enough of the market share to be able to offer any artists a real platform. And so not doing it on the blockchain is just going to be competing with these traditional IT Web 2 giant monopolies. Just like with Amazon Web Services and ICP. So the only way to circumvent these circumstances and be able to really become a juggernaut of this pioneering industry is to be able to have it on blockchain and Web3, and be able to be decentralized so that it can't be just run over by the traditional corporations. That's just the way that I see it, and that's kind of the narrative with ICP, is that we're kind of giving a new platform for crypto, for companies, for ecosystem, and for music artists. It's just what ICP does. So in your opinion, now that was said, where do you see yourself on Trax in 5 years? Are you going to follow them no matter what? Are you going to follow them as long as they keep developing? Do you see Trax being here in 4 to 5 years? Just kind of give your take. You don't have to say anything like solid, like 100%, but your opinion on it.
I would love to see them, not only them succeed, but I'd like to see other artists be able to kind of launch themselves, to another level. It's been pretty good to me so far. Not only, I made a little bit more money this year with my music than I did before, but like the connections I've made with other people that I'm collaborating with now. Like I'm collaborating with some pretty cool cats right now, and I'm stoked. And we're all in like different parts of the world, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, bro, you just hit on something huge that is what these platforms offer, right? So you could go out into public, even in a downtown city, and you might find one person in that whole city that likes the same things that you do, right? Just walking in your day-to-day life. So what these platforms like crypto do, like Trax do, is they get a lot of the people that really feel the same way and have the same passion about things together, so that then we can collaborate and like, oh, bro, you did that, what you like that's what you do. Like that's where the connection comes in, and that's where community is built. It isn't all just about making money. It isn't just all about, getting your voice out there, which are big things in the space. We all want to do those things, but having connections with people that literally enjoy the same things that you do, like, and we can sit there and do the same thing. We can hang out and we're not going to get bored because, oh man, this fool's talking about crypto all day. He's talking about this Trax website. I don't know what that is. So it kind of provides a platform for us all to be able to express ourselves, to be able to collaborate with people. It offers business relationships, not just personal connections, but hey, I have this to offer. I have like an NFT collection. We need music for it, right? So what am I going to do? I'm not a producer. I don't have like access to copyrighted music that I can use. So who am I going to get to add music? Well, my first thought was Tom Stewart from Trax. Maybe they can vote and some of the artists would come over. And then I don't remember. I think you retweeted something of mine or something. You commented on a post of mine or something. I reached out to you, I think. Or did you reach out to me? Do you remember how that went? I don't know.
I mean, you and I have been, kind of poking back and forth at each other really for years.
Well, yeah.
It really is a
But I'm
surprise
talking about like DM. I think
but
we just
like about this, like I think, I don't know what prompted you to, but you DM'd me and you were like, hey, I want to talk to you about putting some of your music on these NFTs. And I was like, okay, let's talk.
Yeah, so that's what it was. I was looking through Trax and I was like, man, who do I see has like, some legit stuff going on? And I always see your name pop up on Trax. And I was like, okay, well, if I can, yeah, like you were the first face that I saw. You're the logo on the thumbnail was the first thing that I saw when I went onto Trax. Yours was like the first artist that popped up. And so I was like, well, I need music for these NFTs. It looks like Tom and them are busy. I don't know if they can even, take the artist music, probably not. So I'll contact an artist myself. And so I was like, well, Technologic is the logical one. I didn't even know, who you were really, except for our Twitter interactions. Like, and then we started talking. I'm like, oh, okay, this dude, he likes music. He has NFT collections, and it offered like a business opportunity. And we connected a little bit too, talking and kind of getting ready for this. So I think that's super important to make those business deals like we have. And do you think that Trax? Let's not say that. Do you think it would be beneficial if Trax were to add a collaboration platform where it's like a feed, right? Where you can go in and you can look at other people's content, and then you can share like a piece of your own, and then you could be like, okay, here's what I have to offer. I think it'd be cool if we could collaborate. We need stuff more like that in ICP on Trax, where there's a medium where people, how they have like the Definity developer group, right? Where people can go and they can hire.
A lot of that happens, like the collaborations, like with just, artists, just from at least my experience, that stuff usually just kind of happens on the back end, like a DM, just I'm not afraid to DM somebody. The worst they could do is ignore me.
Yeah, but we need something out in the forefront. We need
there's
a place where people can at
there is
least
going to be the ability to do that on Trax. You're going to be able to message people, because artists hold on to their content, like the art that they create. It's very special to us. So sometimes it's also hard to open up ourselves to share all of that with everybody, just from the intellectual property side of it, like, so
really?
like, and I'm all for collaborating with people, but I also hold myself to a standard. I appreciate, artists for who they are. But if I'm trying to make something out of this, it's a little better to do it more of like on the, like, business has to remain business sometimes. There's fun, and I've released some tracks for people to remix here and there. But a lot of the collaborating, man, that always happens like on the back end.
Yeah, that's what it's hard though for some
flow.
people, especially new people in the space. Like, yeah, that's what I've learned that you had to do. But that it took me 2 years to be able to figure out how to DM people properly and get that collaboration going, because it's not always good for you to just be like, hey, bro, you want to collaborate on this? Like, actually getting to know somebody. So I think a space, like where you could just have people that are interested in collaborating together,
You did
where
it
they
the perfect
feel
way.
free and not be scared.
It's like, hey, I have a need. Can you fulfill it? And I was like, yeah, let's go.
Well,
So
I mean, that's just like nice shoes, want to bang, like that. So I mean, it works sometimes, but for the most part, that isn't gonna work, like so. But yeah, I think we're getting kind of late into this. I appreciate everybody for stopping by. If there's any more questions, let's just look here real quick. We will answer those. King Love asked, would it be possible to have a dynamic music NFT?
I'm not like a developer by any means, but just thinking about it, because you can make an NFT mutable, you can change it.
Right.
I think it would be possible somehow. I wouldn't know how, but it's probably possible.
Yeah, I think a lot of blockchains are immutable, but I don't know if the NFTs are, for sure.
Yeah, so wish I had the answer for that. Sorry, King Love.
I don't even know what a dynamic music NFT would be, so
I would look at it as probably like evolving. Like you could update it. Like you could add another hook or a beat or another verse, or something. That's how I view it. That's a pretty cool concept.
So mutable. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Not even Spotify. Yeah. So Spotify takes a lot of money from artists. That is an upgrade from, the record labels and stuff. But Spotify, I don't think it will be able to compete with the traditional music industry in the way that I think Web3 can, because it can't really be tampered with. Anybody from Spotify could leak a bunch of information on the plans. Like say they have a developer that gets pissed off. They could just leak a bunch of plans, a bunch of the code, a bunch of the stuff. They could get it hacked. You could lose all of your stuff on Spotify. That's the thing with these traditional financial systems. I agree 100%. Question for Techno. Here's a good one. Let's end this off on, well, first, I'm leverage trading right now on the Internet Computer. And if you do leverage trade, be careful because it's only for experienced, traders. And please don't use more than say 3 to 5x leverage, and that 5x is kind of pushing it. So, but I'm bullish on the Internet Computer. Everybody knows that. If you've watched any of my videos for the past 2 years, you know that I am bullish on the Internet Computer. But this is a question for you. How, from 1 to 10, how bullish are you on the Internet Computer?
Well, I mean, I'd probably have to say on the monthly, I look pretty bullish. I know we did just bleed out a little bit, but I still like this nice uptrend we've got going. But as for the ecosystem, the community, everything that I've had come to fruition through ICP, I met the love of my life via ICP. So
That's
I'm
huge. Not a lot of people say that. That's really bullish. That makes me bullish on ICP right now.
Right on.
You found love.
Yes, sir.
ICP. You need to immortalize that. If you guys ever get married, you're gonna have to put like a copy of your marriage certificate on the blockchain and be like, we met on ICP. We're gonna immortalize our marriage certificate on ICP. Boom. You're like, marriage? I'm not even thinking about no.
I don't know. That might evolve into somebody trying to turn it into a DAO, and I don't know about that one. But
into a what?
Into a DAO.
Oh,
We're like, I vote no. Rob will not take Candace out Friday night. Ah, dang.
Oh, no. And then you got to do all the chores because everybody will be making you do everything. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't have any time to make like terrible music or silly looking pictures for everybody.
Oh, damn. Terrible music. Damn, I love that though, man. We need more of it. Like my terrible videos here. Let's go. So did you want to share your screen real quick? And, we kind of forgot, or I forgot.
Not really. I mean, we don't have to. I mean, I can put it up there. I kind of went away from where I was, but I can go.
Okay,
back.
well, yeah, we don't need to do that. I think we're kind of at the end anyway. I think it was a good video, great interview. We had some good discussion. Thank everybody. If you could smash that like button for us, please, and share this on Twitter, Reese, anywhere else you can share this. Let's get the word out about ICP, about Trax, and let's go. All right, guys. That being said, goodbye and good ICP.